We are back on Taking Care of Business on Kern Radio News Talk, 1180, 1230 KGEO, 1410 KERI, now in Albuquerque, New Mexico on 1000 KKIM, and now in the San Francisco, Oakland, Richmond area on KNUCMedium.com. Our guest by phone is one of my favorite guests, former Congressman John Leboutillier. Hey, how'd I do, John? Did I pronounce that properly this time?
Great, Marty. From now on, we'll just say John. Okay. It's the hardest name, it really is. It's a pain.
Well, and it's funny. I'm originally from Toronto, so you think I'd do a little better with the French names, but no, it doesn't work that way.
You did just fine.
Okay, I get a cookie after the show, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, you rate, and I appreciate you coming on just for a segment, but you did an article that really intrigued me, and I thought, I got to have John back on to talk about this. What's going on with Governor Christie? What do you think's going to happen here?
Well, I think that the Democrats want to get rid of him. I think they want to at least hurt him so badly that he can't run in 2016 against Hillary, or they might as well just finish him off now, and I think that's what they're going to try to do. And I think that I'm amazed. 1 week ago today, the scandal cropped up. That was a Wednesday. And by the Monday afterwards, 2 days ago, they already had 2 special committees in the state legislature in Trenton up and running, with special counsels being hired, subpoenas being issued tomorrow. I mean, my God, these people move fast on an investigation against their political opponent. Contrast that with the Republicans' Casper Milquetoast approach to Benghazi, to the IRS, the NSA, the Fast and Furious, and the subpoenaing reporters of phone records. I tell you, I'm embarrassed how the Republicans are afraid to investigate the Obama administration. It's their job, it's their responsibility as the House of Representatives to check and balance the executive. And they don't do it. They go through the motions, Marty, but they're not really doing it. Whereas the Democrats here in New Jersey are going all out, all out.
John, one of the reasons I love to interview you is you're so good on segues for me. My next question was exactly that. Why aren't the Republicans doing anything when it comes to Obama? Because that's the obvious contrast. Here it is, we've got all the stuff coming out on Benghazi, and Boehner isn't going after him. Why?
Well, Pat Caddell, who's on this show that I'm on every week on Fox, I keep asking him that, and he says, obviously, the Obama people have something on Boehner. They have somehow been able to squeeze him into not creating a committee to investigate Benghazi, even though 179 Republican members of the House of Representatives have signed on to legislation calling for a special committee, a select committee. And, Marty, it's a good deal. It's 90 days, 3 months total, will not cost any extra money. They're going to use existing staff from other committees. They're going to bring them over and just do a full-out investigation in public with public hearings, subpoena power, the whole bit, and get the full truth on Benghazi wherever it leads. Now, if it happens to lead and hurt Hillary Clinton, well, that's her problem. Mm-hmm. But that's not the intent of the committee. Yet, even with 179 Republicans, Boehner won't do it.
A couple of things, John. First of all, I'd love to get you and Pat on the show at the same time. That would be a blast. So if you can put a bug in his ear for me.
I know, but Pat is so difficult. I'll do it any time. You get Pat, and we'll talk. But
okay.
I mean, he is a very curmudgeonly guy to get on.
Yeah. But so what do you think they have on Boehner? I mean, it's, I'm going to see Kevin McCarthy, who's our congressman, in a couple days, and I'm going to ask him that question. But I mean, I don't know what kind of answer he'll give me. But
I don't think he would. If he knows, I don't think he'd say. But I'd ask him, why in the world, with 179 of your members signing up for this thing, will you guys not do this select committee? The only other answer, Marty, if they don't have something on them, is that the Republican leadership, including Kevin, have become so afraid to dare to criticize the Obama administration and get blasted in the media that they just back off everything. They won't attack anything. If that's it, then they all should be removed from office. My God, they got to do their job. Their job is to investigate these things.
And John, I think you may have hit it right on the nose, because there seems to be a fear there of criticizing the Obama administration since the beginning. Our guest by phone is former Congressman John Leboutillier. So, John, if is the main reason they're going after Christie because they're afraid he could beat Hillary Clinton?
Well, I think that's part of it. He's the only Republican in any of these polls that does well against Hillary. She creams all the rest. And keep in mind, it's a long way away till 2016. Who the heck knows what's going to happen? But now, in New Jersey, these Democrats have been treated like dirt by Christie. He's very condescending and difficult and arrogant, and I think they've been laying in the weeds waiting to nail him. And he's given them an opening, and they have seized upon it and are going all out on this thing. And they have no resistance. There's no one against them. They've got full power in the Assembly and the state Senate. The national Democrats, from Hillary on down, are encouraging them to do it. Take out Christie now; she doesn't have to worry about him in 3 years. The money people in the Democratic Party, they want to do it because they see him as the one guy that maybe could win. Mm-hmm. And the media hates him, so they'd love to trash him. So why not?
Sure. Now, I'm going to switch subjects in the 3 minutes we have left, but another great segue you did for me. Bob Gates wrote a fantastic book that I can't wait to get my hands on. And he wasn't that bad on Hillary, I didn't think, in the excerpts I saw, but he sure as heck was pretty critical of Biden, who may be running against Clinton. What do you think? What's your take on that?
Yeah, he definitely was the hardest on Biden in these excerpts. He wasn't even that hard on the president. He sort of gives Obama credit for making the right decisions, but not having much enthusiasm for the war and the plan on how to prosecute the war. We're talking about Afghanistan. Mm-hmm. And I think that's probably true. I'll tell you something. I think every president who runs a war has a lot of ambivalence about the war, about the way it's being run, whether the military is telling them the truth or not. I read a little bit about Lincoln during the Civil War, and he was clearly ambivalent about a lot of things, including his General McClellan and whether the guy was up to the job and so forth. But the criticism of Biden is a beaut because he just says the guy was wrong on everything.
Yeah, he didn't say some of it.
And I think that Joe Biden is the most pompous ass that's ever been. And, why people take him seriously. He's not going to run against Hillary, by the way. There's no way. Joe Biden will not run if she runs. He will support her, and maybe they'll make a deal where he'll ask to be Secretary of State or something like that if she wins, which I guess Bob Gates would not endorse.
No, for some strange reason. The other thing that came out in the book that kind of concerned me, and we only have a minute left, unfortunately. Shoot, we got to have you back next month. But they both, Obama and Clinton, both admitted that they were for Iraq for political reasons only.
Yeah, and that they opposed the surge. I know this is a big deal to some people, but they were both senators running for the presidency in a party, the Democratic Party, that's anti-war. And so they both had to be anti-surge at that time. I know Gates thinks it's terrible to play politics, but that's the way our system works. This is how the public gets to put their imprint on public policy, is through elections and elected politicians. Mm-hmm. So he shouldn't be that upset over it.
Yeah, he shouldn't be that surprised. John, thank you so much for the time, and I knew we were going to run out of time, but I had to have you on just to talk about the Christie thing. It
was my pleasure, Marty, and we'll do it again in February.
Thank you, John.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
We'll be back in 167 hours on Taking Care of Business on Current Radio News Talk 1180.